Welcome back to another day in beautiful Namibia. We've taken some flights here. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll be sure to put the link down below. But I wanted to get a sense also of all the operations here of the Westair Group, which takes up this whole corner of Eros Airport, the downtown airport here in Windhoek, and a lot of their flights leave from here as well. And here you've got a big operation, deceptively big actually, because this airport seems very tiny. And you come over here to the corner and the Westair Group lives over here, but they've got all kinds of things from safari flights, the Fly Namibia safaris on the caravan that we took the other day. They fly freight regionally and domestically. They have jet service out of here to domestic airports that can handle jets. And they have medical flights. They have maintenance hangars. They're doing all kinds of things right here in the sort of airside zone at Eros Airport, which is this downtown airport. Very convenient, about 10 minutes from downtown. So today we're just going to go around and get a sense of what's happening here. It's also a really exciting time in Namibia as various aspects of the economy are picking up, showing promise. People are getting interested in Namibia, both tourists, tourism is growing and they're trying to grow that industry, as well as oil and gas exploration and production. And this company here is quite well suited to meet the demands of both those growing markets. So it's a great time to be in aviation here. And the Namibian Airports Company, the majority government-owned airports company that manages airports around the country and is in charge of developing them, of course for them it's a very exciting time as well, as they try to get new routes, passenger routes, and also create the infrastructure needed to service that oil and gas industry, which particularly down in Lüderitz, which we won't have a chance to visit this time, but is a very interesting situation there, is really about to boom. So first I want to talk to someone from Namibian Airports Company and hear about what they're doing. And then we're going to go all around the Westair Group's operations here, meet some key people, see some maintenance, you name it. It's that kind of day. So come along, let's do it. Let's see what we can find out about what goes on here at Windhoek Eros Airport, and by extension at all the airports and within the aviation industry in this country.
My name is Dan Kamati. I'm the Marketing and Communications Officer at the Namibian Airports Company. The Namibian Airports Company was established by the Act of Parliament of 1998 and started operations in February of that year, 1999, and it's been in charge of 8 national airports in Namibia. In a nutshell, the Namibian Airports Company is mandated with managing and developing these airports for the prosperity of the Namibian people. What we have done so far, and in 2020, just about up to 2022, we invested a lot, 250 million Namibian dollars, into the expansion of the Westair Group International Airport. That's the terminal space to cater for 2 million people annually, and that was in anticipation of all the recovery from COVID. And really, we have done so much, and we have also invested a lot in our firefighting equipment at the airports because compliance in this industry is very key, and we need to be always safe and secure, and the passengers to feel safe and secure as well. So we've invested a lot in that area as well, and we have plans to build terminal buildings at the Lüderitz Airport down in the south, where the oil and gas, like I said, industry is booming there. And also Katime Mulilo and Rundu are also, we have plans for terminal airports there, terminal buildings as well there. Basically what you should understand is that most of these airports were military airports. After the airports company was formed, obviously then they had to be transformed into civilian airports, and that's why in 2016, 2017 we had the inaugurations of terminal buildings at Yatoivo Airport in Ndangwa in 2016, and in 2017 at the Walvis Bay International Airport, a brand new terminal building, just to sort of give the comfort for the passengers as they come through the airports. Going forward, really we are just sort of very busy with our route development initiatives. That's why we have partnered with various stakeholders locally to make sure that we form what we call the Air Connect Namibia project. It's an initiative of the Namibian Airports Company. It was launched in March 2024. We brought together players from the tourism industry, from the local authority, and other transport players to make sure that we come together and collaborate. Namibia Tourism Board as well, to collaborate with them to make sure that we go out there and speak one language when we speak to airlines, when we speak to people out there, to say come and invest in Namibia, come and fly to Namibia, come and holiday in Namibia. If we are bringing in people into this country, there is so much benefit for everyone, and that is what is key for us as Airports Company, to make sure that people really benefit from what is coming into this country.
now we're getting a look at the operations of Medical Rescue Africa, which is another of the companies within the Westair Group of Companies, and they do what it says on the tin. They go out and they do medical rescue, so bringing people from points further afield to Windhoek or other places around Africa. They have aircraft based in Senegal, Mozambique, and here, and they can service quite a bit of the region, bringing sick patients to hospitals, and they have different capabilities on board in terms of right up to advanced life support, which it's basically like having an ICU in the sky, a flying ICU where they can, keep people alive as long as they need to until they get them to a proper hospital. So a really cool operation, and they use these Beechcraft that we're inside right now, the B1900, and another aircraft as well, and flying all over Africa. Must be a really fascinating operation to see in action. We're not going to get to see that today, but getting a sense of what they have on the ground here. Very cool.
So we are Medical Rescue Africa, and we are an aeromedical service that operates out of Namibia, Mozambique, and Dakar, and we service the whole of Africa. And we have a 24-hour crew on standby with a ICU-equipped aircraft. We basically treat from neonatal to adult, critical care and intensive care patients, and we strive to serve our patients with our utmost comfort and safe. This is not the ICU enabled aircraft. We use whatever aircraft is usually available for us, but we usually have the C425 aircraft. On request, we then get it ready for the flights. Our primary base is here, which is our call center is also here. But if there is a flight coming from Mozambique or any other Africa country, we usually operate out of the closest country from that side.
So you have aircraft in various places at any given time?
Yeah, just Mozambique and Dakar, except for Namibia now.
Fine.
So if it is from Angola, let's say for instance, we will fly from Namibia to Angola and back. We have an ambulance and a response vehicle here. So the response vehicles is basically for within Namibia or within Windhoek, and let's say up to 30 to 50 kilometers out of Windhoek. But if it's a mass casualty and they require our services, then we will service the patient. And the ambulance is basically for inter-hospital transfers, but we focus mainly on the aircraft patients coming to Namibia or to Windhoek, and we take them from the airport to the hospital. We have a basic life support, which basically just do the main vital signs of the patient. Then we have the intermediate life support. They can put up IVs and inject some medications. Then we have the advanced life support. Those are the guys that is really working very hard on the aircraft and mainly doing all the flights. So the advanced, they do everything from neonatal to adult, from minor to severe patients or critical patients, ICU patients. The advanced guys are the guys with the drugs. They can put you out, they can give you any medication, and most medication has reversible medications as well. So they use that for treatments.
So this here is the other aircraft that Medical Rescue Africa will use, mostly for more local medical flights. The B1900 back there is more for longer range, it can go further, and this one here can land on the really basic bush strips as well. So got a kind of versatile operation using those two. I've never actually been in one of these before. Pretty cool. I like the big oval windows. Nice. Have to try and fly on one of these at some point.
Okay. So here is all the equipment that we also use in the aircraft is on battery power here. So once we get a flight, then we will, take it off the battery system and take it with. So if we have an electrical failure on the aircraft ourselves, then we switch to the batteries. So that, okay, And then obviously we're also capable of transporting neonates. So this is also an aircraft approved neonatal transportation incubator. So we take that along, also battery backup operated as well as electrical operated in the aircraft itself. Then we've got our blood as a backup as well, plasma, and also fridging medication to this fridge. All the medication is there. So if we have an emergency, then we can take from the fridge drugs over here. We've got also snake antivenom here as well. And for, let's say, burn patients or serious polytrauma patients, we take the blood as well as the plasma along with us.
Wow.
The idea is to take your ICU to the patient. You don't go and grab a patient, take him to the ICU. You take the whole ICU to the patient. So this is the emergency trolley that you will have in your hospital settings. So our paramedics are also trained to be familiar with the setting. So what you can do is, you know, you've got some emergency medications that you use, and normally it's standardized. So if you do it here, in Oranje or Lüderitz or Cape Town, the trauma centers, it will be exactly the same. So you've got different airways over here. If we practice with the students over here, then they use this emergency trolley on the mannequin itself, so that they can be familiarized of what to use, when to use what. So that is just some more equipment. Over here is your intubation equipment. What we have about this intubation equipment is that if you intubate your patient, you can physically see where your scope is going. So this one is fitted over here, and then as you go into the pharynx and oropharynx from a patient, you can physically see the epiglottis and everything of the airway, so that you don't miss intubation. And then obviously we mimic on this machine. So this is a full ECG machine that we use. And then we can mimic different scenarios on the patient. So the machine is Bluetooth to this device, and then we can mimic different sounds on the chest. We can mimic different movements, sounds, as well as the heart rhythms. We can change to various different heart rhythms. So once the student puts up the ECG monitor, then obviously it reveals on the monitor what the problem is. Even the bell sounds, you can hear that. We've got also a amputated leg that we can put in to simulate an amputation of the leg, and also amputation of the arm. The arms also, this ones you can introduce or use in IV canalization. So in other words, you can put up a drip in on this mannequin. All that you can do for the student to practice.
Looks like he's not having a good time.
Not at the moment. This is the 24-hour call center. Obviously we have our positioning of our aircraft. We know every time where the aircraft is, and also we can see if there's an emergency on the aircraft, it will turn to a red aircraft signal, and then we can see that on the screen as well. This one is also with all our paramedics. So all the ambulance that you see is the placement of our paramedics. So if we dispatch our paramedics, it will turn to green. Then we also send the location of our patient to the paramedic. When it comes green, he on Google Maps he receives the location, put it on, and Google Maps will take him to the patient.
Wow.
So that's part of that system. This is our weather system, obviously. Windy that we use, and also if we fly, for instance, to especially Lüderitz and Oranje, then we can also see the clouds and the mist development in that area. So we can see and follow that up. That is our tracking system of aircraft. All these yellow dots is all our landing strips that we can go to in Namibia itself.
It's called spider tracks.
Spider tracks.
Yeah, you can explain better.
So spider tracks is a system. It's completely satellite based. So we can at all times follow any aircraft if it descends too quickly or climbs too quickly, or if there's an incident, it will immediately recognize that. The pilot also has a control inside the aircraft where they can push a button that will indicate something is maybe wrong or there's an emergency. So immediately messages will be sent directly to the cell phones of the operations managers. So we at all times know exactly what's happening, and if there's a situation, we will know, okay, let's have a look, let's track them actively to ensure that they are safely or get safely to the next destination.
So this is how the aircraft travels from the starting point to where it is at the moment. And if you want to see, let's say for instance it's going to Sauces flight, we can check the ETA of the aircraft. So ETA Sauces flight, then it will be within 16 minutes and 30 seconds, the aircraft will be there or landing. So you can have the estimated time of how long the flight will still be at the moment. Yeah.
Pretty cool. So maintenance is a key part of what they do here. They have all kinds of maintenance capabilities. They can work on all their aircraft as well as other aircraft if needed that come in. And this particular hangar is the biggest hangar here. It was built very recently, just opened. They have a bunch of new office space over here that's not even filled in with desks and everything yet. So clear sign of the expansion, how much is going on here. And they can fit a bunch of aircraft in here. Right now there's just 2 of these ERJs, and they're giving this one a good buffing and other work as well, making it look real nice and fresh, which is always cool to see. Yeah, just a nice facility here. So the idea here is that they can fit 6 of these ERJs in this hangar at one time. Right now just 2, but there's room on the sides for 2 more. Is that right? 2 here and 2 over there? Yeah, there's room on the sides for 2 more on each side of the ones that are here now, so plenty of space for these nice ERJs to get work done in here.
Westair started in 1967. We started as a maintenance company. It was started by a gentleman called Mr. Wolfgang Grellman. Basically in 2001, Mr. Grellman and Gustav Holtz, which is our managing director, they joined to start Westair Maintenance. And basically from maintenance, they went into operations with the AOC and so on. I started with Westair in 2009, and we were about 17 pilots at that time with less than 10 aircraft. I think we worked quite hard. We were quite lucky. We got one big contract which basically put us into the jet market, where we actually started our first operation with the ERJ 145. We basically expanded organically. Today we own 11 ERJ 145s, 135s that we operate all over Africa. We employ about 500 people in Namibia, which is probably about 120 to 130 pilots if you compare to the 17 pilots previously. We actually grew outside of Namibia, so we operate at the moment in Mozambique, South Africa, Namibia, Angola, Congo, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Sao Tome, Senegal, Mali, Italy, Romania and Malta. So overall we have about 30 fixed-wing aircraft that we operate, and then we have 14 offshore helicopters. So we are one of the biggest, potentially the biggest Leonardo operator in Africa at the moment, and all the helicopters that we operate is for offshore oil and gas companies. So all of the major IOCs that we operate in Africa. So we operate 169, the 139 and AW189, and we're actually also adding 2 Airbus 225s to our fleet that will be basically getting into Namibia December and then also January. I think we're a great team that's very diverse in what we do. We've made a couple of nice strategic changes in basically our management. From the guys that started Westair, basically expanded to all the different AOCs that we now manage and operate. So I think we're having quite a lot of fun. Got a good safety track record. So we're a BARS Gold approval, which is a Flight Safety Foundation approval essentially. Our airline is IOSA or IATA approved. We're IOGP approved. We're approved to operate for the United Nations, and then we're also Shell approved.
What a cool series of days of exploration and discovery of Namibia this has been. Westair, all the companies within it. And coming into this, I actually had no idea the extent, the scale of the operations of these companies. They've got operations all over, and they're especially important to aviation here in Namibia, where they have such an extensive network, everything from domestic jet flights to these caravan safari flights to everything needed to support an aviation infrastructure, the maintenance, the helicopters, you have the medical rescue flights, you have the cargo flights. So it's been amazing. They've been great showing me everything, all aspects of their operation, and it's just been super cool to get a little taste of Namibia, life in Namibia, aviation in Namibia, and to see how it's really poised to grow further and play an even more important role in this country. And I look forward to hopefully coming back. I especially want to see the helicopter base that they're setting up in Luderitz, and maybe take the chance also to spend a couple nights out in a lodge, maybe down in the desert around Sossusvlei where we flew with the caravan first. I mean, that place looks amazing. And yeah, as always, such a pleasure to be in this part of the world. Thanks for coming along on all of this adventure, watching all the videos, and I hope you enjoyed it. For now, signing off from Namibia, I'm Gabriel Lee in Windhoek. Bye for now.